Hey, what's up? It's Primetime Football, and today we're going to be talking Alabama and Notre Dame. Um, this is the 1 seed versus the 4 seed. Bama's the 1, Notre Dame's the 4. Alabama's undefeated this season, has looked great. Definitely the number 1 team in the country, in my opinion, or at least deserve to be ranked there. Notre Dame just came off of a 30-point or a 24-point loss to Clemson. They made it in the playoffs. They're here, so we'll see what happens. Now, this game is expected to be a blowout. The spread is 19.5 points for Bama, which is the largest spread in college football playoff history. So you tell me why this spread is justified for Alabama, and then I'll give Notre Dame fans some hope and tell them why the spread is too big.
So I say it is justified for Alabama because Notre Dame, the one time Notre Dame beat Clemson, they played the game of their life. In my opinion, they also did not deserve to win that game. They got very lucky near the end. I'm not taking anything away from Ian Book, but they had some very big plays near the end. I still thought Clemson should have won that game. And then they got blown out by the Clemson team that I think is worse than Alabama. And they've already played this Clemson team as well, meaning they know what they run and stuff like that, and they still lost by that kind of margin. And Alabama has the best offense in the country. So that's why I think the spread is justified, and I think Alabama will cover it.
In my opinion, I think it's a little – I'm not going to say I think it's too big, but there's definitely reasons for why it could be too big. I just think the country is sort of having an overreaction of the Clemson game. The reasons they lost because of their offensive line play and Trevor's legs. And the offensive line has been great all season for Notre Dame. And it was kind of uncharacteristic in that game that they had against Clemson. And it kind of shuts everything down when your offensive line's not playing good. And for the quarterback run part, they're playing against Mac Jones right now. Obviously, he doesn't pose any sort of threat like Trevor Lawrence does with his legs. So I think those two sort of reasons they got blown out in that game shouldn't be too big of an issue in this game. So I don't really expect to see the same team that we did against Clemson. So now we're going to reverse it, and you tell me how Notre Dame can win this game, and I'll tell you what Bama needs to do to avoid an upset.
So for Notre Dame to win this game, they definitely have to shut down Najee Harris as best as possible, because when Najee Harris is on his game, it sets up the play action pass for Mac Jones, which inevitably will lead to a touchdown by either Waddle or Smitty. And they also have to get pressure to the quarterback. This is one of the best offensive lines Saban has ever had. And in my opinion, it's definitely top 3 in the country right now. And for Notre Dame to win, they definitely got to get pressure on Mac. Because Mac is a great quarterback, but when he was under pressure in games like Auburn last year, I know that was not this season Mac, but he played poorly, to be honest. So those are the keys for Notre Dame to win.
Yeah, for Notre Dame or for Alabama to avoid the upset, I think it's pretty simple. Dominate the line of scrimmage just like they've been doing all year, just like they've been doing pretty much Saban's entire tenure there at Bama. They got to get pressure on Ian Book, but most importantly, they got to keep him in the pocket. He's one of the best in the country at improvising plays outside of the pocket, and I think Clemson did a great job of doing that. You know, when plays break down, Ian Book's going to get outside and make plays for the team, and they did not allow him to do that. And that's why Notre Dame really struggled on offense. On the other side of the ball, they need to establish the run game, just like they've done all year. I don't think Notre Dame has a chance to slow down Mac Jones and Devontae Smith at all. So if Alabama can get that run game going, what's Notre Dame going to do to stop them? They're not going to do anything. I'll tell you that. If they do these things, there's no chance they lose the game. So now onto the predictions. Go ahead and give me yours.
I got Bama winning 59-42. I do think Notre Dame's going to score a lot more than people expect, just like in the Florida game. But just like the Florida game, I think it will be a bigger – I think Alabama will play better than what the score actually says, just like in the Florida game where Kyle Trask had that touchdown before the game ended.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be quite that high scoring, mostly on Notre Dame's side. But like I said, Notre Dame's a pretty well-rounded team. The problem with them is that they're not really elite at any category. Florida had an elite passing offense. I mean, they could be better than Bama as a passing offense. Maybe not, but they're definitely top 2 in the country. And that's the reason they were able to keep up with Alabama, because Alabama was scoring whatever they wanted in that game, but so was Florida.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think any team, much less Notre Dame, any team in the playoff can really do that like Florida did. I mean, who has a passing offense like that? I know Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are in there, but I don't I don't think anybody has a passing offense that could kind of go score for score with Bama, especially Notre Dame. Uh, and so Florida's offense in that game was at an advantage, so they could move the ball. Now I think Notre Dame's offense is at a disadvantage. I think Alabama's defense is not as bad as they looked against Florida, and that they will be better than Notre Dame's offense in this game. So I'm going to go Bama by a little bit of a bigger margin than you, and 45-17. Uh, so anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below your predictions for the game. Thank you.